Number 2, build a teaching system. So, for example, when you start your trainings, you have to make sure that you give your student a full kit of product. One thing that I recommend to my students is to practice at least every other day. If you can do every day, that's gonna be even better. And number 3, position yourself as a brand and also teach your students how to become successful using social media. When I started as a lash artist, I never thought that I'm going to be where I am today. I never thought that I'm going to teach hundreds of students and I'm going to speak in front of so many people. So in today's video, I'm going to share my 3 powerful secrets that made me to become a successful lash trainer. Hey guys, we'll be right back to this episode in just a couple seconds. I want you to let you know that this episode is sponsored by Limitlashes Academy and my training classes. If you are looking to start or grow your lash business, mastering your classic, volume, wispy, or any other techniques, or becoming a lash trainer, I invite you to my newest Lash Pro Masterclass. You can sign up for free by visiting www.lashpromasterclass.com. And I can't wait to see you on the other side. Now let's go back to the episode. Hi, my name is Cosmina. I'm a certified lash artist and also I'm a lash trainer and international lash speaker. And in this video, we're going to talk all about how to transition from a lash artist to a lash trainer and things that maybe to become successful. I'm going to share 3 powerful tips. Number 1, which I think for me is one of the most important part when it comes to teaching. You have to master your craft. So for example, I'm going to give you my personal story. When I started, I went to so many events, I took so many classes, I invested a lot in myself. And then I started to practice and I started to implement everything into my work. And then when I was ready and I knew I'm like good at placement, good at, retention, I know how to work with people, I had a few models, then I said, okay, now I crafted my technique and I think I'm ready to teach others. So it took me about 6 to 7, 8 months, but I was working and I was practicing a lot and work on a lot of people, a lot of models. So basically I was doing lashes full time for over a year. And then after that I said, okay, what is my next step? What is my next goal? In that time I was talking with my husband and my husband said, Cosmina, now your next goal should be, sharing your experience and sharing your knowledge with others. So when you master your craft and when you know you're not gonna be ready and you're not gonna be like, okay, I'm ready to teach, because I'm gonna tell you my secret. You're never going to be ready, but you have to start in order to see, how the class goes, what type of questions the students have and things like that. So you're ready when your schedule is fully booked with clients and you master at least one technique. For me, I was very good at classic and I was very good at Russian volume. And then from there I said, okay, now it's the time that I think I can share my knowledge with other people. And think about something. This is something that I explained during my in-person classes. I also explain this to events that I'm usually speaker and talk about how to transition from a lash artist to a lash trainer. Guys, you're not teaching like advanced people. You're not teaching advanced lash artists. You're teaching yourself when you first got started. Just remember, you're going to have a student today. That student have no idea about anything. You're the expert and you're going to give them something that you never had when you started. So just remember, put yourself in a position when you first took your class. So then you're ready, okay? Number 2, build a teaching system. So for example, when you start your trainings, you have to make sure that you give your student a full kit of product. When I say a full kit of products, do not complicate things and give them so many curls, so many thicknesses, so many things. Give them the products that they need right after the class. Basic, it's always better. And this is also something that I want to share when you start your trainings. Even if you do classic or classic and volume, make sure you share the knowledge with your student at basic. Because think about, they never did any classes before. They have no idea about anything. If they take so much information and you give them so much knowledge, they're gonna be so confused. And that was me. I said, I wanna share everything with them. But no, because in the reality, as soon as you finish the class, you're gonna be so confused and then you're not gonna remember anything. So now I always teach the basic course at basic. I focus a lot on things that we do in those days. So for example, you give your student kit, right? Don't give them like the curls B, BB, C, C curl, C plus, D plus, M, ML, L plus, because they're not gonna be able to work with all of them. They barely understand what is D or C. So in that case, make sure you give them the basic. Tweezers, the lashes for classic, glue, all the disposables, and very important to give them a mannequin so they can practice home. And one of the things that I do with my students, and everything that I'm gonna share with you guys is my personal story. One thing that I recommend to my students is to practice at least every other day. If you can do every day, that's gonna be even better because it's going to help you a lot more. And plus, once they do the practice, I always ask them to send me pictures. Could be the mannequin or could be on a real client, but they always have to send me pictures. That's when the student feels like, oh my god, my teacher, she really cares about me, she really wants me to be there. Because at the end of the day, what we all want as a lash trainer, you want your student to be successful. Okay, so number 2, build a teaching system. Make sure you give them a full kit of products so they can have everything ready. And also make sure you structure your classes at basic. So for example, the way I do, I have 2 days of classic and I have 3 days classic and the fundamental volume. But the way I do, I give them access to one of my online course. So before they come in person, they always watch the theory first so they can be more familiar with the whole process. And when they come here, the whole focus for us is to do a lot of practice and understand how to work correctly. So you don't know how to structure your classes, you're confused on how to do them, go on ChatGPT, explain what is your goal, what do you want to do, and from there he's gonna schedule and he's going to give you the whole script on how to structure your classes. If you don't feel comfortable, and this is one of my secrets that I'm gonna share with you, if you don't feel comfortable with everything, start with just a classic class. Offer 2-day classic. You cannot do 1 day because you need to have the theory and you need to have the practice. So do 2-day classic, see how everything goes, do for a few times, and then once you feel more comfortable, once you see how the class goes, then you can always go and add classic and volume. So it's exactly like lashes. The more you do, the more you teach, the better and the more comfortable you're gonna be. And number 3, position yourself as a brand and also teach your students how to become successful using social media. Now, the way I do with my students, once we finish the 2nd or the 3rd day, I also teach them all about social media and marketing, how to use ChatGPT, how to use Google, how to work with organic clients, how to get clients from ads like Google ads. So I basically teach them everything. And then once you finish the class, so for example, so many people, so many students, they're like, oh, but I don't know what to post, oh, I don't know what to do. Well, you're going to have so many pictures from your first class. So use those pictures, as promoting your brand. And one thing that I always recommend, if you're starting, this is what you want to teach your students. If you're opening a brand new, for example, Instagram account, always make sure you have the 6 or 9 posts already ready, because when a follower or when somebody goes on your profile, they already see the 3-6 pictures and they already understand, okay, this girl, she's doing lashes. Oh, this girl, she's a lash artist. So they already know a little bit about you, so they don't have to scroll up and down. So the 6 posts, the three or six will be better, but the 6 posts are extremely important for people to already connect with you. And also, you have to be on social media. You don't like to be in front of the camera, you don't like those type of videos to film yourself. That's not a problem. That was the way I started, and I was exactly the same. I was so afraid of the camera, I was so afraid to say something. But have your phone, have a little stand, and just film yourself how you practice on the mannequin, and have the voiceover after. Or you can have the same, in the same video, have the voice, but just don't show your face. Show the mannequin and explain, okay guys, in this video I'm going to do, if you guys go on my first video, it's a video how I was practicing classic on the mannequin. So you can do the same, just film yourself and explain, okay guys, in this video I'm going to share with you how to apply classic lashes on the mannequin. And then from there, keep that type of consistency, you know, because if I'm your follower, I want to see you that you're active. I want to see that you're there. So those are the main 3 points that it brings you as a successful lash trainer. Number 1, master your craft. Number 2, teach your students basic and also share the marketing. And third, personal brand. Remember, the student doesn't buy just a lash training. The student buys the experience. And remember, the way you share, that's how the people are going to find you. If you post a lot about trainings, if you share a lot about trainings, then people already know that you are a lash trainer. Okay, so it's very, very important to stay updated with everything, and it's very, very important to be consistent. So that's exactly the way I teach my students to do.